Hi, good morning, evening, night, whichever one fits, shit like that. You know the drill. I hope you guys are doing good. This is a game review over talk with noway4u on mid lane. He's doing some challenge, I think, where he's playing every single champion. And at first, when I looked at his profile, so like, what is this, man? Because he's having a bit of a hard time. But yeah, we're against Sinsao in the jungle. I'm playing Twitch jungle here, as you can see by myself. It's going to be a pretty long game. It's going to have some ups and downs, which is why I figured I could do a game review on this one, as opposed to what I wanted to do, which would be a 10-minute clip video. I think there's a lot more that could be done with this one. I don't recall the exact things that happened, so that can be a good thing when it comes to talking over the game. Right. And before the game starts, I told them to stack there. They did. I was AFK for a bit, so they didn't quite get to see it. Or, I mean, I didn't come there in time, but they came. And it paid off, because since I wanted to ward, and he walked past everyone to get the ward and he died, so I got a good goal start there. I get a fast recall, and I think it's good to get Dark Steel, because it goes very well with Twitch in terms of clearing camps because of the AP. So when it comes to like Raptors and those things, once you get your W and E, that AP will really help you clear them faster. So I would consider Dark Steel to be one of the stronger items to buy at the start for Twitch jungle, regardless if you're going AP or AD. And as you can see, I have my runes here, which is Overgrowth, as opposed to what I would normally have, which would be Revitalize. And then I also have Conditioning. And I do consider Conditioning to be really strong. And the more I think about it, even if you're not going tank, I think that Resolve Tree is very underrated. Like the Conditioning giving 10 of each, and how Revitalize Overgrowth. I mean, I would prefer Revitalize over Overgrowth, because I think it's better. But since I don't have anyone that could shield me or shield me that much. I mean, we do have Seraphine. It's just hard to tell how that's going to go, so then I take Overgrowth instead to just give me some extra HP. And as always, right, people keep asking me this in stream. How do I path, or what do I do? And I always go red, and then I go to the opposite side and gank. But the key thing here to take note of, if you want to snowball really hard on bot lane, is if you do manage to kill them, you can go into this push here, and then when they come back again, at level 1 preferably, the person you killed, not Karma, which happened to be in this case, but normally it will be the ADC or support that died coming back, right? And it allows you to maybe get a kill on them again. And then if you kill them again, it's obviously going to be very good. Because you kill them once, they lose the farm, then you kill them again, and they lose even more, and then they're just so far behind. So like, even though you might not be able to pull it off the first time, just try and pull it off, just try and get it done. Because eventually, with time, you'll be able to pull it off, or know when to pull it off, right? Because at that time there, if I knew since I started blue and not red, I wouldn't have done that. But I did. So, in this sense here, it wouldn't have been that very good to do it. Because if Sinsao or the junglers on the same side, then you're most likely going to lose. But if I knew that Sin started on red here, as opposed to blue, and I knew he would be pathing towards top side, then the play that we did here would have turned into Karma and Jin dying again. And I think most people can understand how that's a good play, or why that is a good play. But of course, Sin getting 3 kills there isn't really the most ideal scenario. But it's always good to like try things, you know? If you're not experienced, like, what does it matter if you lose 10 games or something? to just practice, you know. That's why limit testing is good. It's not like I was limit testing here, I just wasn't really aware. Because it did work on Carmen with Go Hard, right? And it's a video I want to make soon on Wackaflcka explain, is to explain fear. Because people really are too scared in almost every elo, and it's really noticeable and annoying. And annoying when people are just not confident enough in the place or what they can do. And I think having that bare limit testing blood inside you is what's going to make you a better player overall. I had this ADC the other day. They were playing very bad, pathing all the wrong ways. And of course I'm going to show that in the video when I talk about it, but I just said to myself, like, this ADC, if I open the OPGG, I'm going to see green KDAs everywhere. And I opened it and it was blue. It was just all blue, and you could just tell, like, this person takes no risk. They're just, like, losing so many opportunities and leads by just hogging the KDA, you know? So it's definitely good to, like, know when you can't do something. So if you die, lose 3 games because of that, then in the end it turns you into a better player. And the faster you can do that and just practice those things, the faster you can become a better player. So, like, being able to or willing to limit test more often is gonna be more beneficial for you in the long run, as opposed to just doing it once in a while. And it's been some time here now. Like, you see, I go to red, right, and then I go bot. But because I do that, I end up losing a lot. So often, when it comes to doing these ganks and what you want to do after, is you want to get some items and then just start power farming for a bit. Because your next spike, or, like, your next ability to, like, actually get stuff done is when you get 6. Because 6 is when you can go to bot lane, as an example, and you can double kill the bot lane really easily, because your damage and your ultimate and everything is gonna enable you to kill them a lot easier, especially if they're stacked up, right? So, like, sometimes people won't understand that, they'll want ganks or something, but you're the one that know your character, you're the one that know when you're strong. So, like, why are you letting other people that don't know your champion or your items or anything make decisions for you? And it's one of the hardest things about jungling, is to just trust yourself. And it's not always just about trusting yourself, but it's also about just ignoring what other ones are telling you what to do, or, like, what ideas they might have, and being able to, like, say, this is a bad call. I don't want to do this. I know I'm not strong enough to do this. I know it's not going to work, you know? Then don't do it. Like, especially top laners are vulnerable to this. They'll want help or something, but in reality, they're just dead weight. And helping them is gonna not just make things worse for you or them, but it's also gonna be worse for you, because you lose valuable time farming, ganking other lanes, you know? Like, if you had two characters on the map, then sure, it could be a good thing. If you were both able to help bot lane and top lane at the same time, or farm as well as helping top lane. But it just doesn't work, you know? You have limited time and options in what you want to do, because you can only be one place on the map at once, right? So you want to be where you can get the most, or where being is the most valuable. And top lane in this case here is not the best. And I am going to go 98 tech this game here, and I think people will remember, maybe, from me talking about another game where I said that Camille is a really bad champion to play against when you play 98 tech, because you have so much HP and your damage isn't that great. I mean, it's good, but it's not, like, insane, you know? So, like, with someone like Camille with Sundra, she's going to be able to kill the damage and also deal more damage to me. Which is one of the reasons why I changed my build up a bit here, as opposed to going my regular build. And this video here will also cover some of the things that was spoke about with Wit's End and Blade of the Rune King. So that's also why I thought it would be a good idea to talk about this game as opposed to just making a montage. Poison coming in clutch there. I mean, like, Johan here is completely delusional, right? Like, he's inting a bit hard. He's throwing the game. Which is why I thought this game would actually be lost, because Sin Sao and Camille, as you can see here, is very fed. So this game is gonna be a lot harder than one could have been if Johan just played a bit better. But the great thing about being behind and having done what I've done, which is taking the first dragon, is that I buy us so much more time in terms of like scaling. Right? Which is why people should want to at least secure the first Drake, because it just buys you so much time. Especially if it's a decent Drake. Like Mountain or Hextech. Even Infernal. They're like all great Drakes, you know. Ocean's fine. Cloud's minimal. It's probably the worst Drake I would say at the moment. But like I'm buying 5 extra minutes here towards like them getting soul, which is great if you want to scale. And like even if we're all to die for that Drake and we got it, I would say it would be worth. Because at the moment we're not really like set up to succeed or to be able to do anything. Because Camille and Sin is so far ahead. And Sin and Camille are champions that really do count as ours very hard. As well as LeBlanc. She's a mage, right? And she bursts a lot. It's like they all have like really big threats for our team. That's gonna make it a lot harder to do something. But luckily I have Wit's End, I have conditioning. As you can see, I'm getting 14 armor and magic resist at this point, which is, I would say, is huge. Like it's like 500 gold worth for value there, which is just insane. Here I wanted to stay because I wanted to take the last shot so she would live, but then of course Camille comes. Which made it a bad choice, but if she didn't come then we both would have survived. And that's the thing I mean about being scared. Right? Like it turned out to be a bad thing now, but if Camille didn't come, then me taking that last shot would have made us both survive. It's just unfortunate it didn't work this time. But most people would have just ran away there and then let Seraphine die. But like just knowing when you can take something or when you can't take something or like these things is what I'm saying, like you should limit test and try it. And I am going to cover that a lot more in the actual video I'm going to make to like explain it better. In terms of like when you should do something or when you shouldn't. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And noway4u is actually pulling she off here, killing the little bank, even though she's very far ahead. I'm not sure how, but he did it. And then again, it comes to the dragon, right? I want to try and secure more, like take some somehow. And if we can get Sin Sao here, then we would be able to take the dragon. But unfortunately, everyone else is there too. And then you'll see the funny thing here with the Yon, where he ends up proving how good of a player he is. He has his Q there, right? He could have gone for Karma. He gets his stacks on the Karma again. And then what does he do? Does he kill the Karma? Nope. He tries to kill the Jin. Right? Maybe it's his first game in the champion. He doesn't know its limits. So he ends up doing the worst thing possible. It's whatever. He's pretty much dead weight. Dead weight, you know. Jin's pointing out too. Like, I'm willing to die for this because I want to try and get it, right? Because if I do get it, then it's great. Unfortunately, I missed my smite. This being a 25-hour stream, and I'm at the last of it. I'm currently, let's see here, 22.5 hours into the stream, so I'm pretty tired. I'm not going to say I'm doing everything correct. If I got the smite off, though, would have definitely been worth it. Which is why I'm willing to like take these risks, and because it's worth it, you know. Like one death is whatever here at this point. If it means that we would get a dragon or something for it. And as always, when it comes to jungle camps, you want to like apply your Monster Hunter debuff on them. You know, the one that ticks on the chat like minions when you kill them, or monsters as they're called, by auto-attacking them once. On the raptors, you'll auto-attack them all once after your W, and then E, and then they'll most likely die. Of course, at this point here, I don't really need to do that much damage to them because I'm level 10, and all the items and stuff are going to make me kill them fast regardless. So of course it doesn't really matter that much here. But if earlier into the game I level like 4 or 5 on one of your first clears, auto-attacking them all once and then getting the W off means you'll get 5 stacks on them. And with the debuff ticking, your E will most likely kill them. I mean, you can see how fed Sin is there by the fact that we can barely put that in him at the moment. But I mean, credit to noway4u here. Like, I saw Lucian mid and I thought it'd be really bad, but he really did put in work this game. He ended up doing good. Look at Yon, man. On one lane of CS. He did nothing this game. One thing I did notice this game though is that I didn't buy my TMA early, which is something I should have done, but I was so tired and exhausted that I just didn't catch on to it. And I thought I had it, but I realized like later that I didn't. So, something to take from this game is you should definitely try and buy TMA earlier and not when it's gone past 20-25 minutes before you get it, because it helps you class early. It helps you damage when it comes to team fights. It's just all around good item. Especially getting level 6 with Tiamat. And ganking bot lane and getting that spread damage on both of them by piercing them with the auto attacks. Like, that damage is just really nice, you know? And like, again, he just lives. But I think he dies some... Yeah. Which is another part of what makes Twitch jungle so good. The red smite really synergizes so well with his kit. In terms of like the poison and everything, like the damage reduction. Like, it's like an exhaust but ignite at the same time, right? And I think red smite is so nice. And it's probably one of the things that makes Twitch jungle more viable. And I don't understand when I look at OPGG and I see some people go blue smite in Twitch. Like, I just see no reason for doing that. Like, sure, you get the slow and that. But like, the red smite damage and damage reduction, it's just so nice, you know? It's like, why would you want to give up on that? I just don't get it. Like, if I could take red smite or exhaust or any of these other ones, as an ADC, I would pick red smite every time. Like, it's such a well-round summoner. Because it gives, like, everything. Damage reduction, damage. And I would almost say that is OP. Of course, bad positioning here, right? That was just troll. So the slow venting in this game. But it's just kind of like hoping that it'll work out somehow. Like, if Camille didn't come from bot side there and she actually came from top side with everyone else, then it would lead to us having a much better team fight. But since they all like sandwich us, then it's really bad for my kit, because I rely on having people come from the same angle. Which it doesn't let us do. And then they're all scattered around, and that's mostly how you'll lose on Twitch. It's like making sure, knowing how to make people come from the same angle or not getting sandwiched is, as I've said in other videos, a really big part of playing Twitch. And even bigger, I would say, when you play 98 tech, because your burst damage isn't that great. So at least putting yourself in such a way that you'll deal the most damage to everyone by Tiamat splitting everyone with the damage and all these things is what makes the build viable. It's like, you have to like kind of have a bit more game knowledge if you're going to make it work at a higher level, as opposed to like playing crit. Because if you play crit, you attack someone, you'll probably kill, like, you'll just 2-tap someone, you know? So then your positioning isn't that important in the sense of killing people, but then your positioning is a lot more important in terms of surviving or not dying, right? It's like there's different knowledge being applied to each one. Like 98 tech or these things will allow you to put yourself in a bit of a worse spot in terms of taking damage, but at the same time it'll put you in a more vulnerable spot if you were to do the same thing as full damage Twitch. I think Blade ended up doing more damage here, almost, right? It's at 1400 now, which is at 2k. Bubble Wits first. So at this point here, Blade has done more damage than Wits. But at this point here, when I'm level 13, it's when Wits will start doing damage comparable or greater than Blade. But up until now, Blades has done more damage, even though it says that Wits has done more. I bought Wits way earlier, right? But the reason for buying both here is, as I said earlier, because of Camille and Sin. Like, I wanted more damage here, so I ended up buying Blade and Wits End. So I would have that percent damage, so I would have the damage to kill them. Because I built someone else there, I don't think I would have the damage to kill them. As opposed to building Blatant Wits. So at this point here, when I get my Hurricane, is when you'll start seeing the game turn around. Because my damage is good, you know? But of course, it's in Sao. He has his ultimate that just prevents me from doing damage. Which of course is a bit unfortunate. And as you can see, Jons died 9 times. Got 1 kill, and he's got 1 assist. So he's been very useful this game. But at least he's 40 CS up on Camille, which means he's the better player, of course. That's just how the game is. When you have more CS, you are better. Doesn't matter what you've done the entire game, if it's inting or not. As long as you're at least 1 CS up on your opponent, that just means you're better. Which is a joke, in case people didn't catch on to that. It's not right. This was very unfortunate, right? I shouldn't have used my ultimate here at all. I should have saved it, which I didn't do. It's like, this was a mistake of mine. Just waste my ult like that. Because like the second I spread out and just ran away, then it was pointless. Which is why you want to like save the ultimate for like a better time. Like, I'm pretty sure Dragon's about to spawn. And I'm not going to have my ultimate for it. Which is, I regret my use of the ultimate right after I did it there. Because I just realized it wasn't worth it at all. So you want to make sure to like save it for a proper moment, you know? I mean, I do have Hurricane now, so it's even stronger than what it would have been. If I didn't. But yeah. Something you'll notice here, I don't want to pull it out because I'm certain I'll win the smite, but then something you'll see here is that I went from 2.5k to 500 or something instantly because my team bursted it. And that's on them. I mean, I could have pulled it out and it would have been fine, but again, maybe they wouldn't have done that. So, if you're not the jungler and you're in the winning position, and what I mean by that is you are the one that have the advantage, you have control of the pit. What you want to do, you don't want to burst it because your jungler is the one that's going to have control, and you don't want to surprise him by just bursting it. You want to let him do it, you know? So like, as an example, Baron, when it's closing 1k HP, just stop damaging it. Let the jungler like set up spells so he can get it. Like if they just let it go to like 1200 and stop damaging it, then we would have got it for sure. Because our team wanted to rush it and just burst it, we didn't get it. So also remember that if you're not a jungler, like just if you have control of the pit, don't burst it at 1k or 1.5k. Don't use every single ability then. Because if you do that, then you are leaving the opportunity for the enemy jungler to take it. Because you are doing something unpredictable, you know? It's like, let your jungler do the thing. Let him get it. Let him just control the health. Because he has everything prepared, you know? As an example, Twitch jungle, he reaches 1300. You press your E, you wait 0.2 seconds because the travel time. Then you press smite, which is something that becomes like a muscle memory, you know? E, and then that small filler, and then you press smite, and then you get it 100% of the time. Like, the amount of times I get outsmited is incredibly low. And I do consider myself a very good smiter in comparison to most people. So like this game's been unfortunate, of course, we didn't have vision. I'm tired, and my team griefed me a bit there. But like overall, in a normal scenario, I'm certain that I would get like 90% of all dragons or barons if the team would just play normal, you know? It's like never try and burst it when it's getting close to 1k. You can burst it now, sure. But when it's getting close to the smite range, then give your jungler control by not damaging it. I smited 700 there. But at this point, like, I felt like we had it anyway. Another thing I like to do when I play jungle and I smite something, I like to like look at the number and then tell myself when I smited. Like I'll say like 900, 800, 815. Like I'll look at the last bit of HP I had before I smited and just tell myself that. And I think it's something that makes you a bit better as well, paying attention to it. But now you can see the damage of Wits and Blade at this point is about equal. Like the damage difference from earlier is about the same. Like it's a 500 gap between Blade and Wits. So at this point here, Wits End and Blade are doing about the same damage. But like early game, before level 13, Blade is almost always going to deal more damage than Wits End. Which is something I don't think I mentioned last time. But of course the Magic Pen or Magic Pen defensive stats I'm getting from Wits End was very good here, because they had Karma and LeBlanc was a bit fed. So like preventing myself from getting one shot, and you can see I'm getting 14 and 15 Emma and armor, right? Which is also making Wits End more valuable than it would normally be, because I have conditioning. And now you can see I'm getting 173 more HP from Overgrowth as well, which is also pretty good, especially because it gives more AD for Titanic Hydra. And again, a bit bad ultimate there. Probably because I'm tired again, but it's fine. At this point, the game's over. So like, here, the reason why I went Blade and Wits is because I would say it gives more damage from my build than any other item would have done here. And without those two items, I don't think we would have won the game. At this point, at least. But it just really enables me to get the damage I need on Camille and Xin Sao. And also the movement speed I need to avoid or get onto them. Right? Because normally at this point I would have gone a Mythic, I would have gone Cinderhawk, Wits End, Titanic Hydra, and probably not had the Blade the Rune King. But because I felt like I needed extra damage, then I did end up going Blade instead. But yeah. Really big up to noway here, because he did pull off through, and like when the game started and I saw we had Lucian mid lane and stuff like that, I figured the game would be kind of GG, you know? Because it did look really grim at that point. And you'll see even at this point here, Sin is scared of me. I mean, it might be Seraphim's coming. So my ult time in this game has been really bad. Meaning the times that I used my ultimate hasn't really been the best. So that is definitely something to learn from this game, or to think about, is to just pull off into when you use your ultimate. And it comes to like all abilities, you know. You want to be critical towards yourself in terms of how you use your flash and how you use your bigger cooldowns like your ultimate and Twitch. Because it's not really something you can use at the wrong time too much. You have to be here using it at the right time, or knowing when it's the right time, you know. So if there's a lesson for this game, then let that be it. Careful when you use your ultimate. don't use it too often. I mean, use it as often as you can, of course, but don't use it like without thought. And know which situations you should see. Meaning, when you see champions standing in a certain way, it should tell you if you should use the ultimate or if you should not. As an example, earlier in the game when I opened on Jin and Karma, and they both just split up, my ultimate was useless, right? And I should have recognized that, and not used my ultimate at that point. It's not a mistake that led to the loss of the game, but it is a mistake that could have, like, ended up with the loss of the game, right? And here, one of the easier ones, you hover outside of vision so you can get yourself off so they don't know you're there. Now I'm kind of just like sacrificing myself to get the most damage I can off onto everyone. Making sure that I'll take as many people with me as I can. Which is something 98 Tech is really good at, as opposed to full crit, because I might have died there at that point, but since I'm very tanky or tankier than what normal full crit, which would be V1. So yeah, thank you if you watched all of it. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good one. I'm gonna upload a Wackaflcka explain pretty soon. That'll go into detail of one of the things I mentioned here in terms of not being too scared and willing to risk it. So yeah, thank you. Have a good morning, night, whichever one fits. Shit like that. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.